God is not just concerned with the physical weight that you're carrying. He is concerned with the spiritual and emotional weight that you carry. Welcome back to Fasting Food Faith. I'm Brianne Sims, RN.
I'm Dr. Sam Sims, nurse anesthesiologist.
And we're back!
Yes, we are.
We're so excited to be back. We missed you guys so much. And we have a fun topic today. Interesting topic today.
Yes. Getting away from it for a little bit, we were able to have some interesting interactions with people about fasting. We're going to bust a myth here.
Yes.
And the myth is the Bible only lets you fast from food. Dun, dun, dun. Is that accurate?
Right. Because there's a lot of people who want to get legalistic about it. And
Very legalistic.
And say that, well, true fasting is only fasting from food.
That's yeah. And they think the Bible only says, and they also say the Bible only says it's fasting from food or water.
Right.
So let's delve into that.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the best place to start is Isaiah 58 because it is the fasting chapter. And it talks about at the beginning how people are fasting, and it's not the way God wants them to fast.
Right. It's titled True and False Fasting.
It says in verse 3, "Behold, on the day of your fast, you seek your own pleasure and you oppress all your workers. Behold, you fast only to quarrel and to fight and to hit with wicked fists. Fasting like yours this day will not make your voice be heard on high. Is such a fast I choose on a day for a person to humble himself?" He doesn't choose those kind of fasts. And so they're actually fasting from food. They're wearing sackcloth and ashes. So he says, but in verse 6, is this not the fast I choose? Now, I'm going to read the fast that God chooses and just go ahead and listen to all the times he tells you you're supposed to not eat food and not drink water in the fast that God chooses for you. Verse 6, is this not the fast that I choose? To loose the bonds of wickedness, to undo the straps of the yoke, to let the oppressed go free, and to break every yoke. Is it not to share your bread with the hungry and bring the homeless poor into your house, when you see the naked to cover him, and not hide yourself from your own flesh? Then your light shall break like the dawn, and your healing shall spring up speedily. Your righteousness shall go show before you, and the glory of the Lord shall be your rear guard. So, nowhere in the fasting chapter does God say it's food only.
Right. There's more to the chapter, but it's just all of his good promises of when you fast the way he chooses for you to fast. So I find that interesting that it doesn't say anywhere in that chapter when God says the fast that he chooses.
Right.
It does not say it's only from food or water.
And at the beginning of the chapter is people who are fasting from food, wearing sackcloth, going through the motions, but actually not seeking God.
Right, because it wasn't a fast that God chose for them. It wasn't a fast out of submission to God's will.
Right.
It was a fast to make themselves look good.
So let's biblically find some more fasts where people fast from things other than food. Well, it's just one verse, so we should find other opportunities, right? We should find other areas where they fast from other things like food. So Ezekiel, he fasted from walking.
This is the one that immediately popped into my mind, is that he fasted from moving because he was required as a prophetic act by God to lay on his side for like a year, I think, wasn't it?
Left side was 390 days, and then his right side for 40 days.
Yeah, so he was required to fast from walking and moving around.
Yeah, that's not food.
Yeah, but it was a prophetic act for the entire nation of Israel.
Yeah.
And brought about God's will.
The disciples were told to fast from security.
Yeah, I really like this one because it's very similar to a fast from food and water where there are certain necessities that you have to have in life to survive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like food and water is one. And when you fast from food, then you're trusting God to provide what you need, right? So you're trusting him that your body is going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're trusting. And that disciples also had to trust God when they were sent out. Mm-hmm. He said, don't take anything with you.
Yep.
No knapsack, no change of clothes, nothing.
Yep. No,
and they had to completely rely on him for survival.
And don't take any silver, don't take any payment. Don't take any money. You're going to go out and you're going to work and you're going to get food.
Yeah, and they just had to completely trust that God was going to provide for every single one of their needs every single day.
Yep, that is in Matthew 10. It says, heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the lepers, cast out demons. You received without pain, give without pay. Acquire no gold or silver or copper for your belts, No bag for your journey, or 2 tunics, so 1 shirt, or sandals or staff, for the laborer deserves his food. Will work for food. Will heal sick, raise dead, cleanse lepers, and cast out demons for food.
It was basically like you're fasting from every comfort except for food.
Yes, you're gonna. Yes, in fact, you're only going to get food.
Right, exactly.
That's going to be only form of payment.
You're going to go out and share everything that I've given to you.
Yes, and I'm going to provide for you that you will be taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. I like this one here. It is, everybody talks about like the Daniel fast, like don't eat certain sweetmeats and that kind of stuff, and everybody is willing to do that one pretty much. You know what I mean? But the one that people aren't willing to do is the John the Baptist diet. Because Matthew 3:4, his clothes were made of camel hair. He had a leather belt around his waist, and his food was locusts and wild honey.
I have never heard anyone being like, we should really do the John the Baptist diet of locusts and wild honey.
Yeah, and I originally read this. I was reading it fast. I said, I was telling Brianna about it. He goes, he ate camel hair.
And I was like, no, he did not.
But here's the thing. He wore camel hair, and if he had sticky hands with fingers and tenny, I'm telling you, probably a couple of those hairs got in there.
Probably a lot less honey.
If I had to have a diet of locusts, I probably would want to dip them in honey.
For sure.
So, I mean, he fasted from, but he did have a source of food, but he fasted from luxuries and comfort and.
Right. He lived in the wilderness.
Yeah.
He didn't have fancy clothes, fancy cars, fancy bed to sleep in.
And he had a sparse diet. Fancy food.
Right. Healthcare, probably non-existent. There's just a lot of things that he just didn't have any common luxuries.
Right.
He fasted from everything.
Yes. All luxuries.
Yeah. But his life was poured out before God. It's just there was a lot of self-denial.
Exactly.
And doing what God wanted him to do.
Right.
Preparing the way for Jesus. It was such an important task that he put everything into that. So dying to self and taking up his cross daily.
Doing the fast that God called him.
Incredible example of fasting from all of the things that we idolize in our culture.
Right. And here's another one. The Nazirite vow. You fast from drinking wine. And you fast from cutting your hair. And fast from touching dead bodies. Which, most people they're pretty good with that.
I think I'll definitely fast from that.
It's that's just the one thing I can't give up.
Okay, but back then they didn't have the things that we do to deal with those kind of things. So anyway.
Yes.
But not cutting your hair, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. That still holds true in different cultures for different things.
Sure.
But
so you might be called to fast not to cut your hair.
Who knows?
Yep. Levites, they had a vow of service. They didn't go to war. They had a vow of service, so they actually didn't go. They didn't go to war, and they served in the temple. Firstborn served in the temple.
Who knows? Maybe that applies to some of you. Called to serve in the temple and not on the battlefield, or called to serve on the battlefield and not the temple.
Isaiah 20, verses 2-4. He was commanded to not wear clothes for 3 years.
I know. I was like, maybe we shouldn't mention this one.
So sometimes being a prophet is not. It's ooh, and he was already wearing sackcloth. And so he was that was what he was already wearing. And then it's God told him he had to take off his sackcloth. He says in verse 2, go and remove the sackcloth from your waist and sandals from your feet. And Isaiah did so, walking around naked and barefoot. Then the Lord said, just as my servant Isaiah has gone naked and barefoot for 3 years as a sign and omen against Egypt and Cush, so the king of Assyria will lead away the captives of Egypt and the exiles of Cush, young and old alike, naked and barefoot, with bared buttocks to Egypt's shame.
Harsh.
And just in case that's not quite clear, this is fulfilled in Nahum 3, in verse 5. Behold, I am against you, declares the Lord of hosts. I will lift your skirts over your face, and I will show your nakedness to the nations and your shame to the kingdoms.
That's harsh, man. I'm don't be dabbling in witchcraft and falling away from the Lord.
Yeah, that was witchcraft. Yeah, witchcraft, prostitution, witchcraft.
You do not want your...
So, I'm hoping that God never calls me to abstain from clothing for 3 years.
Okay, but...
I'm just saying yes.
But there are other types of fasts. God may call you to stop purchasing clothes for a season or
Yeah.
to wear a certain type of, or whatever it
Yes.
is. Like the thing is just that it's what God chooses to bring about freedom and healing and change and breakthrough in your own heart and life and that of others. And so that's what he is calling you to. Just submission and obedience. Because he has better things in store for you.
Yeah. And Jesus sacrificed his divinity for a time to come down here and die for us.
Yeah. He did fast from that.
Yeah. In a way, yeah. Yeah.
That is very interesting.
Yep.
And that was painful for him to be human.
Probably. It
He
clearly was painful. He got crucified and died.
Well, yes, obviously. But now he understands our pain.
Yes.
You know? And, you know, one of the questions that I always think I want to ask when I get to heaven is, did Jesus fast, like, growing up, like, off and on? Like, you know what I mean? We know about his 40-day fast before he started his ministry. Then he didn't fast because the bridegroom was with his people and stuff. Like, he didn't fast during his ministry. And we know he did a 40-day fast before that. But was that his first fast? Because I don't think so. I think he probably fasted and learned to fast growing up.
Probably. Yeah, it was weird that people didn't fast. Yeah.
People, like disciples and stuff, did fast. So it was probably a regular thing for him growing up.
Probably. We don't know anything about that because the Bible doesn't say, but if we just looked at, basically, if he lived the Jewish lifestyle, then yes.
Yeah, he would have fasted.
He would have fasted. And Samuel fasted from rest.
Oh, yeah. This one was very interesting.
1 Samuel 3:3. The lamp of God has not yet gone out, and Samuel was lying down in the house of the Lord where the ark of God was.
And that's when God came and spoke to him, and he thought it was Levi. And he kept doing that, and Levi said, okay, this time say, God, I'm listening.
Yep.
Speak. And he did. But that was in the night hours.
Right.
You know, and so there is times where God will want to talk to you in the night. But he always redeems. When
there's no distractions and nobody else can be around and you're not letting you can't hear anything else anyway.
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine that. He might want to talk to you when there's no other distractions around. So if you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, why am I wide awake? Maybe the first thing you should say is, God, are you trying to speak to me? What do you want to talk to me about? Those are some of my favorite times of talking to God in the middle of the night.
Yep.
So losing sleep is worth it when you get to talk to the King of the universe. And he redeems that time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Always, he takes care of us.
So again, Isaiah 58:6, is this not the fast I choose, to loose the bonds of wickedness, to undo the straps of the yoke, to let the oppressed go free, and to break every yoke. And share your bread with the hungry, and provide a home for the homeless and the poor, and to clothe the naked.
Which means maybe God is calling you to fast from food and what you would normally buy and eat to give away to someone who needs it. Mm-hmm. So there's all those kinds of ideas just behind fasting.
Or maybe, the rich ruler, he said, like, sell everything, give it all away.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's your...
Maybe you're fasting from your wealth or...
Yes, maybe you're supposed to give some of this stuff away. Maybe to clothe the naked, you have to give them clothes.
Yeah. A lot of interesting things to think about.
Isaiah needed somebody to give him some clothes.
True. And when we were preparing for this podcast, God kind of just dropped this truth bomb on me. And so I'm going to drop it on you guys because I thought it was really profound. Is that we get so focused on our weight and losing weight with fasting. Like, that's like the exciting thing about it. And we do talk about that a lot because it's a great benefit of fasting. God takes care of our physical bodies as we're being obedient to him. But here's the thing about fasting from other things than just food, is that God is not just concerned with the physical weight that you're carrying. He is concerned with the spiritual and emotional weight that you carry. And he wants to free you from that. So what fast is he calling you to free you from the spiritual and emotional weight that you're carrying? Because he wants to see your heart freed. So meditate on that. Thank you for joining us. This has been fun, diving back into fasting with you. And if you enjoyed this podcast, we would absolutely love it if you would go and leave us a review on whatever platform you are on. That would be amazing. We'd love for more people to find us so we can have more conversations about fasting.
Go fast and be blessed.